Hey, and welcome to Financial Confidence, where we're helping you to manifest your millions. I'm your host, Lynn Demons. That's Demons, no demons here, y'all. Demmons. Yes, we're helping you to manifest those millions by making your money, keeping your money, and growing your money. So make sure you get your pencil and your paper ready today, guys.
Need a way out? Lynn Demons is here to help. She's your personal financial rebound coach. Being a wife, mother, and educator, she understands the importance of controlling your finances and building generational wealth. She is here to help you find money you didn't know you had and live life on your terms. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it is true, and it's definitely a good thing. Lynn Demons of Demons Enterprise offers one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and radio podcast entitled Financial Confidence God's Way on WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network.
Lynn Demons, exciting show for you to get today, guys. So go get your pen and your paper. You don't want to miss this. We have Kris Sherrod in the studio with us. Yes, that's right. But before we get to him, our guiding principle for this show is Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Yes, we implore that you pray over your finances so you can do those things that you are called to do. So if you will, bow with me. Lord, help us to value the things in this world that are really valuable. That's our relationship with you, our lives, and our families. Help make us responsible stewards of your financial resources, and let us trust your holy word. Eternal glory in our son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Yes, guys, it's moving day with all your mind, your body, your spirit. You got to want it so bad. You got to say, fear, I dare you. No, I double dog dare you to get in my way today. That's the conversation we're going to have today, guys, because can nobody move you? You have to do it yourself. All you got to do is pack, right? Be willing, be able, and get it done. Y'all. Get it done. That's right. Get it done. I also heard that procrastination is the assassination of motivation. So we need you to get on from under that today. Stop making those excuses. It's moving day. All right, guys, we have Mr. Kris on the show with us today. Kris, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. I didn't mention this earlier, but I did also want to say I am also a graduate of UNC Charlotte as well. Oh. So I graduated a few years before you, but that's okay. A few years before you, but we're super excited to have you here in the podcasting studio. Will you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, ma'am. So I am Kris Sherrod. I'm originally from Raleigh, North Carolina. Graduated, went to UNC Charlotte, got my bachelor's degree in finance in 2018, and currently work at TIAA as a financial consultant.
Awesome. You did something else while you were there. You didn't even mention. Talk about breadwinners, please.
I did. So I started there while I was at UNCC. Me and a friend started their first ever financial literacy organization, just because we felt as though there was a lot of business organizations, and all throughout school, the K through 12 and in college, they make us take a lot of different courses. Some we may need, some we may not, but everybody's going to run into financial literacy and have to be dealing with money no matter what profession you go into. So we started Breadwinners, which was the first financial literacy organization founded at UNC Charlotte. And we started teaching about budgeting, taxes, investing, and generational wealth. And then we actually started even going out into middle schools and high schools and teaching those things as well, attempting to change those kids' lives. So that's definitely been a blessing for me as well to be able to take part in that.
Awesome. I love it. So, Kris, you said you graduated in 2018. Yeah, that was from UNCC. So tell us about little Kris. about your first job, right? What was that first job that you had, and what did you do with your first paycheck?
So when I graduated from UNC Charlotte, well, my first job, I guess my first job was while I was at UNC Charlotte. I got a job as as an intern with a nonprofit organization on campus, and started paying me. It's kind of just helping them coming up with programs, and things for the students to do on campus. It kind of gave me a little space to be innovative, and things of that nature, and pretty much introduced me into the working world. Because really, when I was younger, I was always playing basketball, just always playing basketball. Even when I went to school my first year in college and went to St. Andrews University and played basketball for a year there. So I never really had a job when I was younger. I didn't get a job until I actually got to UNC Charlotte.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. So you don't have that traditional, oh, I worked at McDonald's story, right? That's usually everybody's first job, right? That McDonald's job. Awesome. Awesome. So when you think about coming from that space then, so it wasn't a huge leap to move in the direction that you currently have moved in. So will you share a little bit of your journey with us? How did you then transition from working with that nonprofit to where you are today?
Okay, yeah. So I kind of around the same time I got that internship. I believe it was about a semester later is when I started Breadwinners. And I originally studied finance just because I was naturally gifted at math. Both my parents and my brother were both math majors at North Carolina Central, so I was just always naturally gifted at math. But I noticed this fascination about the dollar and how basically the world and our country revolved around it. No matter where you are, who you are, everything revolves around the dollar. Everything revolves around money. So finance, I kind of took an interest in finance because it was kind of like, well, I know finance is about numbers. I'm already good at numbers. I never had a problem with that. But I also get to study the dollar and finally learn what is this fascination about the dollar? Why is it run everything about our country? So that's kind of why I took that interest. And then after I started Breadwinners, that kind of just really sparked the passion in me, because I started to see once I started Breadwinners, I saw how much of an impact I could really make on our community, learning about money, teaching people about it, teaching younger people about it, teaching the older people about it, allowing the older people to pass it down to the younger people that they knew, and really just took a fascination about it. So that's how I took that transition, and as I left school, that's when I wanted to dive further into the finance department. And that's why I got an internship at LPL Financial originally coming out of school. But it was more on the science side. I mean, not the science, technology side. It was more working with spreadsheets and databases and things of that nature, which I wasn't really interested in. I was more interested in actually learning about the money. So that's how I ended up with TIAA, because I was already studying I already had my life insurance license. I got my life insurance license my senior year at UNC Charlotte. And then I was already studying for my Series 6 and 63 investments license when I came out of school. So TIAA actually had a program where they would pay you to study for your Series 6 and 63 and then pay for you to take the test, and then you could become a financial consultant for them. So I just took an interest in that role, took it, and been rolling with it since then, man.
Awesome, awesome. So I know TIAA just rolls off your tongue, but will you tell the folks what that means who are not familiar with TIAA?
Yeah, so TIAA is one of the largest providers for retirement providers in the nation. They also have a bank now, but they're mostly known for retirement. I believe it stands for Teachers Insurance and Annuities Association. And so it's pretty much one of the larger retirement providers. They mostly work with nonprofits and universities, is what their biggest clients. So I have a lot of, and as a financial consultant, so I'm actually working with the clients. They're actually calling in. So they're calling in about their retirement accounts and things of that nature. So I speak to a lot of teachers, former teachers, current workers with other universities and things of that nature. And basically I'm just helping them handle they're calling in, they might be wanting to take a cash withdrawal from their retirement account. They might be wanting to take a loan from their retirement account. They might be wondering where their cash withdrawal is at that they asked for a week or two ago. Or they might be about to retire and they want to kind of just go over their retirement options. And I might have to break it down to them, like, You can leave your retirement here and just kind of take from it as you please. You can set up a systematic withdrawal and have it coming out monthly to you. You can actually annuitize it, where we'll guarantee you a check for the remainder of your lifetime. So I kind of just deal with these different things on a day-to-day basis with their retirement accounts.
Awesome. So thinking about that, and you mentioned that, of course, the numbers were just easy for you, right? And for that person, though, who says the numbers are not easy for me, but they are interested in investing, where would you direct them to go first? What would be some of those first steps that they would need to do as a new investor?
As a new investor, the biggest thing you can do is educate yourself. And with the day and age we live in, education is literally at our fingertips. So you can start at YouTube. You can start at the most basic YouTube videos. You could start just by Googling about it, reading some articles. You can order a book about it. Unshakable by Tony Robbins is a great book that I've read recently, where he kind of breaks down what it really looks like to build wealth, to invest towards wealth, and what real wealth actually looks like, which is what you're really investing towards, which is actually freedom and happiness. But really, of course, it doesn't lead to the happiness. You have to find the happiness within yourself, of course. So that's what he covers in the book. So that's a great book people can get to if they wanted to start. And so, yeah, it really starts with if you're really just starting, I definitely would just say start with the education first, because the education is really what's going to allow you to be able to be a successful investor.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. You got to educate yourself, because nobody cares about your money more than you do, exactly. Except maybe your kids, right? If you have them. So it's best to educate yourself. Yeah, I know. I have a little one. He cares about mama's money a lot. With that said, thinking about your clients that you work with, what would you say are the top misconceptions that they have that you can help our audience to dispel today?
So top misconceptions, I would say, one is the vesting. So vesting is basically your ownership of the retirement funds that are being put into your retirement account, because a lot of people think just because an employer is putting money in their retirement account, they're automatically entitled to it. But that's not always the case. So that's actually something, and they're not going to tell you your vesting status. You actually have to reach out to them and ask them that vesting period. So how it works is, like at my job, I have to work 3 full years before I'm vested in anything they put into my retirement account. The matching because I put money into my retirement account directly from my paycheck that I am vested in. I'm 100% vested in. That's 100% mine. But they're also matching what I'm putting into my account, and they're also putting money into another account for me. But that money that they're matching and the money that they're putting into another account, I'm not entitled to any of that until I work there for 3 full years. If I were to leave TIA tomorrow, I've only been there for about a year and 11 months. I wouldn't be entitled to any of that money. So vesting is something that you have to reach out to your employer for yourself, to your employer or your retirement provider yourself, and ask, because they're not going to tell you. Because I know for a fact, because I have people call in that have been working at their employer for a few years and thinking they're about to retire, and they may have been working there for a couple years, and their vesting status might be like mine. It might be 3 years to be 100% vested, or sometimes it's a delayed vesting schedule to where they're getting the first year they get 20% vested, the second year they get 40% vested, the third year they get 60% vested. So they're calling in and trying to cash out all of it. I have people weekly try to call in and cash out all of their money, and they're asking, well, on the website it's only telling me I can take out so and so much, or the website's saying I can't take out any of this money. And I have to break it down to them. Well, actually, yeah, that's true. You're not vested in this money because you haven't worked at this employer for long enough. So they're thinking they have this amount of money saved up and invested in the account, and it's actually not like that. They're not entitled to that money until they work there for a certain period of time. So vesting is a big misconception that I would say for people. Another misconception I would say for people is the liquidity restrictions of the funds, because that's another thing where people also think they're entitled to all of their funds. So there's liquidity restrictions and taxes as well. I'll go ahead and put those into too. Just put those together because they kind of go hand in hand, because sometimes there's some investments with your retirement provider to where if you're putting your money in there, you can't even take it all out in a lump sum. And in a lump sum is basically where you can take out all, say you have $100,000 in your account, you can take out the whole $100,000. Some investments that you're putting into maybe a certain investment to where it has liquidity restrictions to where you can only withdraw from that investment maybe in a 5-year fixed payment. You have to take those payments over 5 years. Or maybe we have one investment at TIA where it's 10 payments over 9 years. So these people have worked all this time and think they can take out all of that money, but they actually have to take it out 10 payments over 9 years, no matter what age they are. So these are things you have to reach out to your employer and your retirement provider and know about early, as well as the taxes. The taxes if you're withdrawing from a retirement plan and any employer-sponsored plan, there's going to be a mandatory 20% federal withholding from your taxes if you're taking it out, no matter how old you are, unless it's a required minimum distribution. Then there's a default 10% tax that you can choose, and it gives you a little bit more flexibility. But it's only the required minimum distribution, not any amount that you want to take. So with those taxes, there's a mandatory 20% federal tax if you're taking from any employer-sponsored plan. But you can also get around that if you're no longer working there, or if your plan allows for in-service withdrawal, because not all plans allow for you to withdraw money while you're still working there, which is goes back to the liquidity restrictions. You have to reach out and ask that yourself. Not all plans allow that, but if you are able to move your funds while you're still working there, or if you're no longer working there, you want to move your funds to a traditional IRA, then a traditional IRA actually has a default 10% tax that you can either choose to withdraw the funds. You can either choose to take that 10%, you can pay more than that, you can pay less than that, or you can pay none at all and choose to pay that and choose to handle your taxes at your tax time. So basically, withdrawing from a traditional IRA will give you much more tax flexibility than it would be if you were withdrawing from an employer-sponsored plan, because there's a mandatory 20% federal withholding. But vesting, liquidity restrictions, and taxes, these are all things you're not really going to know about unless you have to actually reach out and seek out that information yourself, because nobody's just going to give it to you.
Awesome. Kris, so you brought up some valid points there, and I can say from experience, so I was with TIAA, so I know everything that you're saying is true. I actually took out a lump sum because I wanted to do some self-directed. So I moved some to a self-directed retirement account, and I ran into some of those very same issues or concerns that you're talking about right now. So it's very important, guys, understand all of those logistics. So all of those in and outs, all of those restrictions, all of the vesting period, you got to understand all of that if you don't know it. So Kris, let's switch gears just a little bit. And you tell me if this is off limits or not, but what are your thoughts on Bitcoin? We hear a lot about cryptocurrency, and we hear a lot about, all of the different coins that are now available, a blockchain. Are you moving in that direction? Is TIAA moving in that direction? If you can talk about that. If you can't, that's fine. Let me know.
So I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure about TIA. I've been looking for it because I actually am a cryptocurrency enthusiast. And I'll get to that after I finish speaking on TIA's behalf. I'm not sure what TIA is doing. I have actually I have finally heard people asking about it recently. So I'm sure the conversation is getting started because as of very recent. I've never heard anybody mention it there before. So I'm sure it's something they're looking into, not an option that they currently have. I personally am a cryptocurrency enthusiast. I've been looking at any cryptocurrency since probably around I would say 2015, 2016, it was really, it first started as kind of me and my friends kind of saw it as kind of like a little get rich scheme as college students. We used to just be in there looking at YouTube videos, looking at, top 5 coins that are going to blow up in February, blow up in March. And we're investing our money, just kind of playing around with it. And we made some money, but it was actually in 2000. Matter of fact, it was actually 2016 going into 2017 because we were doing it because late 2017 we were really getting into it, and then we had put some money in there, and that's when I started telling people about it. But in 2017, that's when that crash actually started. And then early 2018, it completely went down. And then so we all lost some money on it. Even though we had made money a little bit, but we all ended up losing money as college students. But that kind of just that originally opened my eyes to it, and kind of, so I've been following it since. And but really what people don't know is that in 2017, what really started that build up is it kind of started getting hype. People kind of started seeing the importance of it and how it could really be implemented, but it struggled to prove its real world application, and how it would really make its way into our society. But now it's proving its real world application. These institutions are actually buying into it. Endowment funds of like Harvard and Yale have been purchasing it for over a year now at this point. These institutions like Tesla and MicroStrategy are actually purchasing it lately. So now it's proving its real world application. And why I'm really a cryptocurrency enthusiast is because when you have something like that that's a disruptive technology, it's looking to change the world. And when you have something that's looking to change the world, it's something that can have a monumentous impact. So it's kind of like the internet. When the internet first started, the internet in 1995, only 0.5% of the world was using the internet at the beginning of 1995. Now 60% of the world is using the internet, and it's one of the biggest fads across literally in our nation. Almost everybody's using it. And the people who got in before the internet, it will hit a gold mine. Right. Now about 0.5% of the world is using Bitcoin right now. And so you can only imagine how that's going to continue to grow. We're just at the beginning stages of it, where people don't really know what it is. People don't really understand what it is. But what it really is just a technology that's looking to disrupt finance, is looking to decentralize decentralizing finance, which is kind of, by decentralizing, they're basically putting transparency into it, because instead of having a third party organization into it, monitoring everything, and you don't really know what's going on, the people are the ones running it. The people are the ones who are making sure all these transactions are fine and going through. So everything's completely transparent. And so, and then they're upping the technology. Ethereum, the second biggest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin, is utilizing smart contracts. So instead of you having to sit into an office and actually sign off on a paper, it's utilizing a smart contract that gets sent directly to them. It gets signed online, and it gets sent right back. So everything's getting digital. So it's really just our technology is getting more and more advanced. And I really personally think, especially as people of color, I don't think we can afford to really sit on the sidelines right now and just watch this wealth transfer going. Because at the end of the day, if you really look up what it really is one of the biggest wealth transfer, probably the biggest wealth transfer that we'll see of our generation, and possibly the biggest wealth transfer we'll see in our lifetime, is happening right now. But nobody's really paying attention to it. Like even like, you can still get into it, but even last year, in March, in the crash, I purchased a few different coins and things of that nature. I got an Ethereum when it was like $115, and Ethereum just hit $2,000 yesterday. So the wealth transfer is happening right now. We just have to take part of it.
Right, you're absolutely right. I hear you on that. So I hear you on all of that. I was a little hesitant when I first went in. I knew when I first started, Bitcoin was $9,000 and something dollars. Mm-hmm. Bitcoin is over $50-something thousand today. I was like, man, if only I had. So guys, don't sleep on it, right? Like we said earlier, it's moving day. It is moving day for us. We just got to make up our minds as far as what it is we want to do. So Kris, you've shared some really valuable tips and strategies with us today. So if someone wanted to reach out to you, how do they find you?
They can reach out to me if they wanted to reach out via email. My name's spelled with a K. My mother's middle name is K. So it's KRIS.Sherrod, SHERROD @gmail.com. So if they wanted to reach out via email, they can reach out that way. If they wanted to reach out via, I'm very heavily on Instagram, just because I utilize it to kind of just promote financial literacy and financial wealth towards my friends in the world. So if they wanted to reach out on Instagram, it's Kris the Game Changer. So KRIS, and then the Game Changer, no no underscores or anything. So they can always reach out via Instagram, via email. And then once they reach out, we connect that way. I mean, of course, we can connect via cell phone or however they would need to. So.
Awesome, y'all. That's Kris, the game changer on Instagram. I like it. All right, Kris, it has been amazing having you here with us today. We truly appreciate you for joining us for Financial Confidence.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. You're more than welcome. All right, guys, if this show has been invaluable to you, go over to WYTV7, Christian Broadcasters Network. Go to WYTV7.org. That's what I meant to say. WYTV7.org. Leave a donation so we can continue to do what we're called to do. That's to educate, empower, and inspire. I'm Lynn Demons. That's Demons. No demons here, y'all. DEMMONS. Please follow the podcast, subscribe, and get updates. You can text us at 312-487-3550. Text the keyword podcast FC. That's podcast FC for Financial Confidence. We thank you so much for tuning in for this episode, and we'll be here again next week, guys. Same time, same place. Until then, you stay safe. All righty. Oh, sorry. Stop recording first.
Swing Into Their Dreams Foundation presents the Golf Tournament of the Year, raising scholarships for aspiring National Golf Club in Milton, Georgia. The inaugural HBCU Swing Into Their Dreams Charity Golf Tournament. Registration and gourmet continental breakfast begins at 8 a.m. and shotgun at 10 a.m. Award reception follows. Come enjoy a day of jazz, mimosa, cigars, cash bar, silent auction, and more. For more information, contact 770-686-7143. Don't miss it.